afternoon, students, parents, and teachers. We'd like to introduce you to our topic, Racial Justice is Affected by Our Beliefs, Values, and Racial Impact. Our plan for the exhibition project is to write and illustrate a comic story about racial justice and to present interesting and persuading facts. Our plan for this exhibition was the organization of a competition called Children Against Racial Inequality. We have founded a movement called the Human Rights Movement, which will be our tool of introduction to the community's importance and support for all those in need. Racial justice is a sensitive and an extremely serious matter to understand and even more difficult to talk about. I will explain racial justice to make the understanding clear. Firstly, race is determined by your skin color or tone and what you look like. Your race could be white, black, yellow, or other color group. Although society pushes the idea that you need to fit into one group, the truth is that we all are in one group, human. We often confuse race with ethnicity. Race is about how you look, whereas ethnicity is about your culture and language. Justice means fairness. Put together, what racial justice means, the equal and fair treatment of all races. It also means we have policies, beliefs, practices, and attitudes to promote equal opportunity. So, how does our beliefs and values shape our views about different races? Using stereotypes, Black people are viewed as good musicians and athletes, but involved in gangs and other crimes. Hispanics are excellent gardeners and builders, but sometimes are drug dealers. A survey conducted by the New York Times states that white people cling to the stereotypes of Black and Hispanic people. 3 out of 4 believe that Blacks and Hispanics are more likely to prefer living on welfare and are lazier, less intelligent, and not as patriotic as white Americans. This clearly is racist stereotypes and are trying to shape our views of others and are simply damaging and wrong. Now, the impact of racial inequality locally and globally. It is known that in many countries there is a law of racial justice in schools. Colored students are treated worse by their teachers than white students. Black and Hispanic students are not always punished for their behavior, but are judged through the racist beliefs and prejudice of their teacher. According to the National House Education Survey, 24% of Black students in the US had been suspended at least once, whereas only a third of white students, 80%, were in the same situation. What defines racial justice and why does it matter? Racial justice is the systematic, fair treatment of people of all races that results in unprejudiced opportunities and outcomes, no matter the skin color. A lot of people think that race-based division is bad, and we should try to reduce and remove racism from our lives altogether. According to Deva Pager, American sociologist, the rate of race discrimination is the same as in the 1980s. For example, an average white family earns twice as much as an average Black family. This is clear evidence regarding the injustice and discrimination of Black people. Base your standards of employing someone on their education, professional development, experience, and recommendations. Stereotypes should never cloud your choices. In summary, racial justice might seem like an obvious choice, although unfortunately it is something that we are still struggling with. We should focus on skills, competences, and experience rather than skin color. Thank you all for listening.
Hi, my name's Amelia, and today I want to tell you why racism is a disease that kills. Men build too many walls and not enough bridges. A quote by Joseph Ford Newton. I know that racial inequality is a horrible virus that has killed so many people who had families, friends, jobs, and still had an entire future to live for. Like, for example, Christopher Allen, murdered in Kent, England, 2006, was one of the 96 victims of attacks led by racists. Or George Floyd, who was murdered by a police officer who suffocated him by restraining him on George's neck for 8 minutes and 46 seconds straight, and no one cared to do anything about it. If that doesn't scream disgusting and bad, I don't know what does. To talk about the problem, you need to know where it came from. Today, the meaning of racism depends on who's using it. To some, there's a single race, but to others, it's as simple as black and white. Racism began from discrimination by a group of people based on the idea that some had differences, such as skin color, and they believed it made them superior to others. The concepts of race and racism are just modern inventions, but started and became a part of society during the African slave trade in the 1500s and 1600s. The main problem is people's beliefs and the effect they have on others. Like, if someone believes that black or white people are worse than another and they spread that, it might make others think, you know what, black or white people are bad. There's no physical way to fully stop racism, although every little action does help. In order to help stop racism, me and my exhibition group have created THRM, which stands for the Human Rights Movement. With this organization, we have created a competition schools can compete in. The competition is to spread awareness, to prove a point, and to educate others. Sadly, racial discrimination comes from both sides. What I mean is that not only white people are evil and the perpetrators of racism in any situation. Some black people also treat white people worse because of the set stereotype, white people are racist to black people, so they're evil. At the beginning of my speech, I said that racial inequality is a horrible virus that killed so many people and destroyed lives, communities, and nations. Racism is a terrible disease that has claimed the lives of more than 62 million people over the last 100 years. In a world of 7 billion people, some might say 62 million isn't that much. Then imagine if just one of that 62 million was your son, daughter, father, or mother. Would that number be enough for you to act and help stop racism? Racism is a deadly disease, but the good news is that every disease can be cured. It only takes willingness and goodwill. Thankfully, all humans have these wonderful qualities. Let's cure this disease together.
Hello, my name is Martyna, and today I want to talk about colorism. Darker does not mean worse. Colorism is something I feel strongly about, as it is hurtful, harmful, and dangerous to people of darker color. You might ask, but isn't colorism the same as racism? The simple answer is no, they are not. Colorism degrades people of the same ethnic background with a darker skin tone by promoting lighter skin as the best. Colorism has been around for countless years, being a younger, vicious sister of racism. It forces darker-skinned people to change their skin tone to a lighter one, just to fit in the rest of their ethnic group's standards. Colorism is as bad as racism, yet sadly it is committed by people of the same ethnic background. In India, women with lighter skin are thought to be more beautiful and likely to find more success in work and love than women with darker skin tones. Often this barrier leads to women turning to skin lightening products, many of which are harmful. This is so they won't be discriminated against and will be accepted by members of their same ethnic background. Famous Bollywood actors, pharmacies, advertisements, and billboards promote light Indian skin as perfect. Even families and parents of darker-skinned girls and ladies discriminate against them, calling them blackie, and telling to stay out of the sun so as not to get a tan. Not all products that guarantee to lighten the skin are harmful, but many creams from outside the EU contains chemicals banned under safety regulations. These include mercury and hydroquinone, which with prolonged use are linked to poisoning or organ malfunction and actually damage the skin. Colorism can change a person's life by forcing them to believe what other people say and think, and change their natural, beautiful dark skin to a lighter one. They do this so that they will not be treated worse than others, just so they can live a normal life. I know and believe that there is a way to stop this discrimination, but first everyone needs to understand it and think seriously about colorism. Each one of us can make a change in how we view this topic, because at the end of the day, we are all one color. Thank you.
Hello everybody, my name's Aparajeet, and today my topic is racial inequality affects our mental and physical health negatively. How would you feel if someone judges you or is afraid to touch you because of your skin color? I can assure you that you would feel dissimilar and friendless. This is one of the reasons I think racism should stop, because I think it is ridiculous to classify someone according to their skin color. Instead, I would prefer that people live together in this world socially and in harmony. Unfortunately, there are quite a few places that still face racism, and I personally hope that it stops, because if you ever faced racism, then you would understand how painful it is. According to doctors, racism can be linked to the cause of cancer because racism causes a lot of stress and depression, which causes a lot of negative hormones. And these negative hormones can affect your mental and physical health negatively. Added to this stress and ill health, African American patients in the USA receive a lower quality of medical treatment than white patients. In the USA, this is difficult because healthcare is not free. In December 2018, 9-year-old Mackenzie Adams committed suicide because she faced so much racism in school, which made her feel dreadful and separate. Her mother complained to the U.S. Jones Elementary School principal before she committed suicide, but the school didn't listen. Approximately 3,000 Black Americans commit suicide each year because they feel different and lonely, which really affects their mental health. These statements prove that racism can be life-threatening to colored people and can affect their mental health severely. So let us try to put a stop to racism as soon as possible, because lives are being endangered both directly and indirectly. So we can easily conclude that whatever your skin color might be, you must know that foremost you're a human being and you have equal human rights as any other individual on this planet. Lastly, I would like to convey that we must live in this world socially and happily to make it a better place for all of us and our children in the future. Thank you so much.